What is up, guys? OddEYES here today, and I have Awesome Shadow here with me. And Awesome Shadow, what did you do today?
I played in Core TCG's regional, and I placed 68th.
You barely missed out on 64th.
Just by a little bit.
Yeah. What was your record?
I went X3, and we had 9 rounds.
That's not bad. Heck yeah. All right. And what did you play today?
I went with Beelstar. So we'll go ahead and get into this guy here. So my eggs, pretty standard, just the 4 Demi-Maras. Can't go wrong with it. You want to just mill your hand, and you want to see pieces in your hand, so you don't want to trash off top of deck. So this is the only egg you really ever want to see. I actually never needed, I never went into a grind game to where I needed. So going into rookies, we have Drabumon.
Good old Drabumon.
Basically the same thing with Demi-Mara, but you get to draw an extra card, so you +1 off of it. Always good. We've got the one of Fascomon.
How did that actually work out? You know, I've heard a lot of people are on and off about that card.
OddEYES made me a believer of this card. After much playtesting, so this guy came up quite a bit. There was a lot of times I would just hard play him when I needed a blocker. If they popped him back in trash, I didn't care because Nailbone pops him and then my blocker back, which I will show you here in a second.
So doubling up on blockers was solid?
Yeah, but 2 of the Imp boys, I was able, either Beelstar came in security, or, you know, they just popped it and I just got it back, and another Beelstar. A lot of times.
Very valid.
2 Gauzy. Pretty self-explanatory, just need the memory blocker. Definitely put in work. 3 Cyclones. Crossheart was one of my worst matchups. And you need to see this dude to slow them down enough for you to set up. Going on to level 4s, we got the main engine of the deck for Eismon Scatter Mode. Just combos well with your Demi-Maras and your Gabumons. That is the perfect stack to throw that on. But even if you don't, like, having one of your Floodgate rookies underneath never feels bad, because then they're still in trash for your Nailbone. But yeah, you definitely want to see this guy. We decided on doing Devimon blocker.
Hey, I wonder who gave you that idea. Everyone was on Violin. Can you tell them why we decided to go on Devimon blocker?
So there is actually, if you go into the Black or Gray matchup, having multiple of these plus the one or these 2 boys on board plus the Fascomon, they can't pop all of them with a Hades Force. So if they're trying to swing for game, you still have a blocker.
How many times did I kill you with Hades Force? Pop all your blockers for game.
Multiple times.
That's why we went into Devimon.
Yep, just the 6 cost matters, and honestly the 1 cost digital came up quite a bit, and like him dying at 5k came up because I'd have like a Gabumon underneath him. It was more solid than Biomon. Next we got the other engine of the deck if you need it.
Run this at 2.
Yeah, well, I was kind of back and forth on it a little bit.
2.
Yeah, no, we ended up on 2. It came up. There was only like 1 time that I popped out a level 3 from like a Nailbone and Digivolved on top of it to go ahead and swing with it, or I think I may have hard played, but whatever the case may be, yeah, 2 is definitely where it's at. You want to get it in trash and then Nailbone them back as much as possible if you want to rush them down. However, it depends on the matchup. Sometimes you can just go into attrition and make themselves stick themselves out. Main boss monster. You can't go any less than 4, but we ended up on 2's work defeat.
Not to mention, if it's hidden security, then you get some free value off that.
The only way you're dealing with it is you bounce it, and then if you bounce it, I'm just going to Digivolve.
Yeah, so you just get more value.
It's like, you can't deal with this dude. He's either delete you, or I'm going to delete a tamer and then delete you. So, moving on to tamers.
Good old defeat.
We went with an Izzy and Joe. This sucker came up way too much. He just got me memory for the deck. I feel like it's okay to go white. Really? Because I have a lot of expensive options that take care of your board.
That was your fault. Go
So it definitely slowed a lot of decks down if they decided to try and play around it, but yeah. And if they just said to heck with it, I just got straight value. Only one Matin Sora. My problem with this card is it's so easy to play around the Sword main phase, and actually Crossheart has the easiest time playing around it because they can just cross from hand and get rid of cards. So I didn't entirely love this card for that reason. It is nice that it does turn on Happy Bullet Showering, but however, you might think, oh wait, he's only got one blue source.
No, there's the spice.
So this card put in work. The memory gain off of this just was insane in most of my matches because people did not play around it. So, I mean, there's a lot of times I would have it suspended, so I'd usually gain a memory because, you know, purple has jamming, or, you know, your guys' mods.
Man, that's a valid statement.
Or, you know, they're in the Crossheart matchup, or most matchups, they're going to leave something on board, and a lot of times they'll leave it suspended, and okay, memory, and now I have memory to pop your dude.
How often did it come up?
Anytime I had it on board, dude, I was at least gaining one memory. It was insane. Yeah, no, definitely on this card, probably going to cut the Matin Sora in future builds for this, because this is where the spice is at. But we were short on one of these, so I'm at 3 Coctus Breath for this list. We were hoping we had one more, because it's just an indiscriminate...
Pronounce that again?
Cocytus.
There you go.
Cocytus Breath. Indiscriminate bouncing just comes up way too much, especially if you're playing against... I actually had an Xmon matchup, and boy was I glad to see Cocytus. Yeah, no, good card. Instead, I went with Maelstrom because
I did not realize that was a 7 cost when you played that on me.
Yeah, I apparently I wasn't the only one who just looked at that and was like, oh yeah, that is a 7 cost. So the difference between this and Decker Launcher is 6 or higher. Crossheart isn't 6 or higher most of the time. They're swinging at level 4 and are gonna eat your security at level 4. This'll hit it. Decker Launcher won't. So I went with this because it's 6 or lower, and that filled out the 6 blue options. 2 Nildone, pretty self-explanatory. You don't need to see it like super early game because you want to build up your trash first. Mid to late game, this is your bread and butter. But I'm only running 2 Fly Bullet. 2 felt perfect for me because we have this now. Best option in the deck because when you can hit level 7s, this comes in clutch a lot of times. 1 Gewalt Swarmer, 1 Happy Bullet. Other reason why I cut down to 2 Fly Bullet is I wanted room for 3 of these. Because even if I ended up milling like Digimon, didn't always feel too bad because I had ways to just pop them back. Like if it was, sometimes I would have Calling from Darkness in hand, which, yeah, I do run the 1 Calling.
Of course. Free Beelstarmon, yes please.
But there's a lot of times I would actually use this to pull back a Gabu and a Scatter Mode so I could get my engine going because I was behind. Came up quite a bit.
Good way to get rid of Psychomon too.
Yep. Or, you know, if your Eismon's got that jamming.
Yeah. Literally.
So, but yeah, no, this came up quite a bit. It definitely drew me into a lot of pieces, or there's a lot of times that I would hit 2 of the 7 cost options on the mill and then draw into a Digimon. And I'm like, that is the most perfect way that this card sets up. And yeah, came up more...
Seem more busted with Rivals Barrage because you get free Beelstars.
Yep. So...
go over your matchups, please. Let us know what your matchups were.
So my first round, I was flabbergasted because I lost to a Melgar X.
Yeah. Go Melga! I'm sorry.
It felt so bad because, like, none of my options were in my security. Then it was Crossheart, which was just auto lose. And then my third matchup, dude was dropping anyway, so he just dropped. And gave me the win. Which was weird because he was still X2. I don't fully get that one. He was a Beelstarmon matchup next. Which was an interesting one. Like, it was very close games. I was sitting on the edge of my seat the whole time, just trying to survive, because he had me down to like 1 or 2 security, so it's like, it's not like he couldn't have gone for game, but my security just lined up perfectly. Then I had, it was a machine Digimon actually, which surprised the heck out of me, but it definitely slowed me down. But I just kept having answers, and if they dropped just vanilla machine Digimon, I had Cactus Breath.
What is it?
Cocytus. Sorry, I don't know.
Mario says cactus breath because it's a meme, because it's a cock. It's called cocytus.
Yes.
It is a circle of hell. It is the coldest circle of hell.
Anyways, yep, Cocytus, I had plenty of times to come up for it. Because I did lose 1 game to him, but the 2 games I took from him, I had one of my blue tamers up and just went at him. Yeah, round 5 was my Dark Knight matchup. Yeah, Dark Knight, just, OddEYES was as surprised as I was listening to me play against that. That's where the Fascomon actually came up, because he tried to swing in with one of his little dudes that he wanted to die to get some shenanigans off. I blocked with a Fascomon. It's only 2k. You ain't dying to that.
I'm just shook that Dark Knight made it so far.
You and me both. But hey, it was a weird matchup because like you couldn't keep it down unless you were bouncing stuff, and I didn't have the bouncing online.
Yeah, I know. I think that matchup was almost an auto win against Beelstarmon. And they set up right because your stuff dies. Cool. I go.
Yeah.
All day.
I made it, and because my blockers weren't 5 cost, that also came up because they couldn't pop them, and it bought me turns, just enough to pull out wins. So definitely,
we did it for Black or Gray, and it ended up working for that.
I didn't even go against Black or Gray. So, then round 6 was also a drop, but cool thing. Shout out to Captain Cinnabun. Makes some cool sleeves and little memory gauge markers over on Etsy. Definitely go check them out.
I'll link in the description.
Yep. They were my 6th round, and I guess they must have had somewhere else to be or something, because they dropped because they were still X2 as well. But that was cool to get to say hi to them, and they're like, "You're the only one that said anything." I'm like supporting little guys. And then my last 2 matchups. I know my very last matchup was Cross Art.
Your next matchup was Xmon.
Oh yeah, Xmon. Also not something I was expecting, but I mean,
shout out to the Exa player playing that deck in this format.
Yeah, it definitely gave me a hard time when I didn't have my blue options up.
Yeah, no good.
But when I got my blue tamer down, knowing that they didn't have anything to answer it, definitely they couldn't do anything about it, and it's like they didn't even proc Slayer Digimon half the time because they knew I was going to swing. It's like
valid.
It meant nothing to them, or to my guys. So yeah, that was an interesting matchup. But when I just started popping back their Xmons left and right, and they just slowly lost resources, I just ran them into attrition. But mad respect to the dude. He was also streaming it and had a dope map. So yeah, no, those were my matchups. It was.
I think Cross Art.
Yeah, Cross Art. Just.
Which I went to the bathroom and it came out and it was over.
Yeah, he just had the nuts. He dropped like freaking 4 tamers in like 1 game, like within the first few turns. I'm like, Zord defeat does nothing. Yeah, that matchup was just not to lose, unfortunately.
Heck yeah, man. Well, you did still do pretty good, obviously. Sadly, you did miss out on top 64, but, this is the best record you've made.
Yeah, my last best regional was 94, so I jumped up a good bit.
Hey, you followed in my footsteps, had my best record in Vegas, so solid job. Any shoutouts?
Honestly, if any of you looking to get in Bell Spirits, I'm starting a little business. I go by AwesomeShadow36 on Discord. I'm on a lot of the Discord servers. You can probably find me.
He's very trusted.
Shout out to OddEYES here for helping me figure out this deck. And I think that's it.
All right, guys. Well, so yeah, that was Awesome Shadows deck profile made top 68. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys check out this deck and try it out for yourselves, and definitely try out your own spice and see how you like it. If you guys know any like CCGs, tell them to my channel. Give this video a like, subscribe, and I shall see you next time. OddEYES Lumia out.